Hey guys, it's Mike, another NFT Guardians free-to-play video. We're on to day 44. We have been accruing a lot of assets for the last few days, and hopefully we can make some progress today as we jump into the account and kind of pick up where we left off. I do hope to get some enlightenments done today, some level ups, also see where we're at with gear, and then jump into Endless Rush and just kind of see how we're getting along. Where we left the account, I'm trying to remember. It's been obviously a few days. I think 36 was the last time we logged in, so I have been leveling up the characters and working on their gear, but it looks like we do have some enlightenment here that we can do, plus some scrolls to use and a lot of assets to bring onto the account and put into place for us. So we got a couple chests that I haven't put, some gold stacked up there, a bunch of fragments there. If we needed to bring any of those guys in, we could recycle them, get soul stones if we want. Probably have some soul stones to purchase in the shop, and then get in with the rush and so forth. So we will get underway and see where the best place is to pick up. Alright, so we ran through our crafting energy and crafted up a bunch of material, got all of our experience for the day. We ran through and did all of our adventure mode for clearing challenge 3s. And we're going to jump into Endless and Rush and Arena as well. But I did see that we had quite a few summoning stones on the account, so we're going to go ahead and summon those. We've got 88, so we're going to go ahead and do 80 and see if we can get a couple folks that might help us along with our enlightenment journey. Maybe even get an Atticus on the account, which I believe is the only legendary that is not on the account as of right now. In-game, Core 1, obviously. So we're hoping for those. We could really use a Flix or two to help us in that space. And trying to think who else we could really benefit from. I think a Grizel. Any legendary is always fun, so we'll take them. But I think Flix on the epics would definitely be a benefit. They did recently add in the shop, we have different epic gear now, and Tuskrog has a belt in there, and Aquirus has a sphere. So I do have some endless tokens that we might jump in there and buy some of those other items so that we can progress the account in that space. We're gonna go ahead and create some space, and then I'll bring you back in. All right, we are back. We went in and created some space there for the next 70 polls, so we should be good to go from here on out. Again, anybody that would help us with enlightenment would be huge. When you're looking at epics, it's always great to get the epics that you can't get from fragments. So that would be like Bruns, Icum, Flix as well. I mean, any of those characters that we're not getting an abundance of already. Just in case you ever do want to build them, having those multiple copies of that character can be a huge benefit. Again, we're getting our fair share of Zedekis and Remus, Batu, another Qitari, so that's 2 of those already. Be nice to see some fresh faces. That was a pretty dud pull with the 1 epic there. Hopefully we can do better moving forward here. We do have 60 more to go, so hopefully somewhere in there we can find some gold or something that might help the account along. This is not really looking that great at this point in time, but to be fair, at this stage in the game, I'm not really sure, short of an Atticus, what would really improve the account. Now, I did hear that there are going to be a couple new characters coming to the game. Hey, there you go. So we did get another Grizel, so that'll be awesome if we can get her enlightened. We do need a lot of those green soul stones, but we will work towards getting her dialed in. I find it that the 10th one is often a legendary. I'm curious if there's some kind of internal pity system or something taking place, but it's pretty common that 10th one it ends up being the legendary for the poll. Yeah, so if we get those green soul stones and start working through that, but basically every one of our characters is utilizing Palmera, the green soul stones, so that could be kind of limiting. If we were to get that Atticus, I don't know that he would take the place of a Palmera at this point in time, just because of how enlightened and powerful our Palmera is. But a Drizda is a great one there. Always good to get another enlightenment level on the Drizda. She is one of the few that we're using. She might be the only one using the blue soul stones instead of the green, so that's kind of spreading out some of those resources a little bit there. We do have rush to do today, so hopefully we can buy a few more of those soul stones in the rush store after we get those tokens. So that'll be helpful as well in trying to progress the account. I do feel like we're at a point where it's time to start really getting some more characters in the game. And I know we all want it. We're all kind of eager for it to happen, and it will happen over time. But, you know, some of these summoning events, you see the same faces over and over again. It'd be really nice to get an epic. It'd be really nice to get anything other than, this is probably one of the worst polls I've ever had. Get some new faces where it's like you're rooting for a new character or a new champion. This account, the only new champion that we really would be hoping for is Atticus at this point in time. But we could see some changes in that lineup, and we do have 2 champions coming to the game. And I believe they're going to be available through the Altar of Sacrifice, so I don't know they're actually going to be pullable through... Aquarius is always a good pull. Pullable through summoning stones, but we'll see. Get some information on that and probably put another video out in the upcoming days. So we've got 20 more we're gonna pull. So we've gotten, what was that? We've pulled 60 so far, and we've gotten Grizel. So that's not too bad, but I feel like we might be overdue. Maybe I'm getting a little greedy here, but it would nice to see some at least 1 or 2 more golds. That'd be really cool. Morana is always a fun champ. She worked out really well for us in the beginning of the game before we started building the Palmera. But as a back row damage dealer, she did pretty well for us. So hey, look at this. Ask and you shall receive. We do get our first Atticus on the account. That is super exciting. So that could be something worth building and seeing if he is. Again, he's in that 10th spot, which is kind of interesting. But see if he is worth... or improves the account more than our Palmera. I'm not sure if there'd be another person that I'd put in front of him, like whether you'd swap him out with Darizda. I feel like she would be definitely better than Palmera. So I would think that if we were gonna trade him in, that would be the spot we'd trade him into. So that's a great pull there with another Flix. Hopefully we can get her enlightened again. So we should be able to make some pretty good gains on the account today. And another Palmera there. So I am pretty pleased with these pulls. We did get a Grizel, which is going to be super beneficial. We got our Atticus we were hoping for. We got a Flix. So I think all in all, we got to be pretty happy with that. All right, so if we jump into our Guardians here, let's take a peek at where we're at in our enlightenment process. So we do have 4,100 soul stones that we have been accumulating. We do have copies of Tuskrog, so he's probably one of the obvious choices. Also, we have Palmera. It'd be interesting to see if we decide to move forward with Atticus, whether or not it'd be worthwhile upgrading her or not. Flix, we did get a copy, and we have, so we can upgrade her as well. Grizel, we just need this, and I think that might be the next one. Even though it is 2,000, she is on 6-star, and I think getting her to 7 and then potentially 8-star could be a big win. So I'm going to look at our resources here and kind of come up with a plan, and I'll bring you back in before we start to go forward. All right, so I think the move forward is we're definitely going to enlighten Tuskrog to make sure he stays our top champion so that Grizel continues to follow him around. So I think that's the first step, is getting him to that next level. And that brings him all the way to 9-star. We're going to get obviously some stat boosts with extra 50k HP, some more attack and defense. So that's going to help us out quite a bit. From here, we're not quite ready to take him to level 10, but we're getting close. I think Grizel will be the next choice, and we'll enlighten her. We did already purchase all of the green soul stones from the rush store, so we're gonna have to wait. I think they refresh in 3 days, so we'll wait till that, and then we can upgrade Flix. But we're getting 14k HP, some attack and defense there, so that'll be helpful as well. We do need 3,000, and we do have 2 copies down here of Grizel to help enlighten her when we're ready, but she is on level 7. And then we will look to enlighten Flix once we get that. She'll probably be our next choice there with we only need about 1,000. As far as Darizda, we could definitely get her enlightened. We have 1 copy that we've pulled. We have exactly 3,000. Now that being said, we might need to be careful here, because if her overall power rate, she's at 567. and Tuskrog is at 732. So that should be fine. We can go ahead and bring her up without posing a problem there. So we'll come into here, grab our Durizda. We only actually need one copy. I kind of go back and forth on this. I keep these fragments in here because like when the building blocks event launched, I could make all the characters I need from the fragments I had. I could also make these characters and then recycle them to get more soul stones. But I do feel like it's kind of money in the bank and you don't really know when you're going to need them. So I do kind of like having these available just in case an event pops up that I didn't really plan for, wasn't ready for. It gives me a few more assets to use when and if I need them. So that, I'm not sure it's the right move because I could probably get a lot more soul stones out of all of those people and even upgrade Flicks today. Or potentially Grizel or whatever the case is, but I do feel like we are making some pretty good gains already, so I don't know how much more we need to do. We are taking Durizda all the way to 10 star at this point, so she is maxed out, and I can bring her back all the way to level 3. And then as we get Ascension seals and so forth, if I decide that she's the character that I want to ascend, I can start working towards that and trying to get radiance levels and things of that nature. But for the time being, having a 10-star Durizda, definitely going to be great on the account, especially in Arena. Alright, so that kind of wraps up our enlightenments that we're ready to do today. I do think the right move here is going to be bringing Durizda up to level 140. She's at 610, Tuskrog's still at 732, so she's not in any danger of taking over his power ranking. And if we come up 9 levels, we won't quite get to 140. So I think that's going to be the move there. We'll go ahead and level her up, get her to 140. Then we'll probably take Tuskrog up to 150, and then maybe start bringing these two into 130 or so. As far as gear is concerned, let's take a peek at where we left off. We do have one piece of epic gear here. Let's see if we have created anything. We have a legendary piece on Palmera, but that's probably good to keep on her because she's gonna be a little squishier as a warrior, so that's okay. Here we have quite a few pieces to move into. She does have attack boots, so we did. Oh, these actually match, but they're HP. So that's probably not going to be the right move. We're going to keep those attack boots on Durizda until we get a legendary pair of HP, or a legendary pair of attack boots instead of HP. Even though it does have the Hydrus, which matches, gets her the extra stats. This extra 12,000 attack is going to have her doing a lot more damage from the back row. Let's see if we have anything here. We have not created any of those. So we're going to jump into Rush, get through our daily missions, make sure we have those 4 Dread Powers on. We got Tuskrog and Palmera in the front, and then our back row here, and get this dialed in. Typically I set my high score not utilizing the Dread Powers, but every now and then you just put a good run together and it will make it work. So this first run through would probably just be just to get that daily activity done so that we can collect those tokens, and then we'll come back in without any of the Dread Powers on and see if we can actually get upwards of like 400,000 or more. Grizel's already down. Let's see, we just lost Palmera, but we are doing pretty good. We are setting a new record, so that's pretty exciting. We did have quite a few improvements to the account with 3 enlightenments with Durizda, Tuskrog, and Grizel, so that's going to help us out quite a bit. And then we did some level upgrades to Durizda as well, so that's pretty big. So we got that done. We're going to go ahead and come back in here, unselect the Dread Powers, and go for one more. Get this battle underway. We see we're doing a little more damage right out of the gate without those Dread Powers on. This boss does seem to be a little bit easier than some of the previous ones. I think we're going to be able to do a little more damage to him over time. We did already lose Durizda though, so that could be something to pay attention to. If she dies early, it could be those HP legendary boots might be a better way to go, just so that she's not quite as squishy. But theoretically, she's in the back row. She shouldn't be taking a lot of damage. We can collect all of those guys there, and then I'm going to jump back out into the shop here and see where we're at with these guys. We did purchase all of the Keeper Soul Stones, so we're going to take a look at these Imperials. We can get 3 of those, and I think we're stacking up the Redeemer Soul Stones, so that's going to be, I don't know we have any Redeemers yet that we're really working on, but when we do get one, we're going to be ready to go. So I do try to buy all of these every week. They reset every 7 days, and just accumulate them on the account, and that way I have them when I do need them. If we go back into the shop, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the Endless store, grab some epic pieces of gear. I think that I am going to grab Tuskrog's belt, and then we're also going to pick up Aquyrus's sphere. And I'm not sure which, I haven't looked into the options of what can come out of here and what you're hoping for. So, you know, we're going to take it for what it is. But Tuskrog's belt ideally is going to be a defensive main stat belt. We do have defense on the crossbow here, but if we swap that out for his belt and then see what his substat is. So he got HP instead of defense, which is a little unfortunate, but it's still not bad. Ice Shield now also absorbs damage equal to 300% of defense for 6 seconds. So it's just going to help you tank up a little more things going on. So that is actually a pretty cool ability. Currently this one is a little bit more power there, so we're gonna have to level this up before we can put it on him. We'll go in here and look at Aquyrus's sphere. You got HP is good for her. Attack would also be good because her heals are based on attack, so I think attack would probably be ideal, but now that I have HP here, I can really focus on attack boots to help out with that. Protective Ward plus, each allied guardian gains a shield equal to 300% of Aquyrus's defense. So that's pretty good. When she runs her ultimate ability, they're all going to get a shield 300% of her defense. So that's, instead of just making one person immune, everybody is going to get some defense out of that. So that actually is pretty impactful and may bring her back into our team over Flicks. For the time being, we're going to hold on to the team we got. We're going to jump into Endless mode. We are working our way up the ranks, so we're not going to double down on our tickets until we get to where we're farming, because otherwise you're going to minimize your score. If you are going to buy tickets on a daily basis, this is the time to do it. And the reason for that is when the rewards reset here, you'll move through these guys quickly, but you're also going to get to wherever you're farming, either Master, Legendary, Expert, wherever it is you're farming, you'll get there faster. And because you get there faster, you're going to have more days where you're accruing more points, and that's going to push you to the top of the leaderboard. So if you're only going to buy tickets 1 or 2 or 3 days out of the entire cycle, the first days are the best days to do that, because it's basically going to give you 2 or 3 extra days of getting better rewards at the higher levels. So that's just something to keep in mind if you are trying to make those leaderboards. Before we jump in here, I actually almost forgot. From the last cycle of Endless, we actually got pretty good rewards. We were in tier 4, rank 11. We got 4,500 Endless tokens, which is how we got those epic pieces of gear just now. Quite a few rubies and some stones to upgrade those new pieces of gear. So from the building blocks event, when that cleared up, we ended up with 37 Ascension seals, which will basically ascend any epic champion, with the exception of a few. I think a couple of them have pushed upwards of 40 to 44. Last time I ascended Durizda, I think she was 44 Ascension seals. But any other epic probably would fall into this category where we could actually start to ascend those characters. At this point on the account, all I'm looking to do is to accrue as many of these as I can, because once you ascend a champion such as Tuskrog, say, or Durizda, we're on level 10. If we were to ascend her and then enlighten her without ascended versions of her, her radiance level will not increase. But once you enlighten a ascended copy of her, you cannot take that enlightenment off. Once she's an NFT, every time you enlighten her, she's going to stay at that level. So until we can actually build a Durizda all the way to 10 stars, utilizing Ascension seals all along the way, it doesn't make sense to actually ascend this champion, because otherwise our radiance level will be 0 and she'll be ascended on level 10. So ideally we can get some of those upgrades along the way and make her a little more powerful as well as a little more valuable. But that is exciting, the building blocks. That's the second time we got the GOG tokens from the Endless cycle last month, and then we got Ascension seals from the building blocks. So we are acquiring and accruing these assets on the account, and these are the assets that are actually going to make money, so to speak, because I can then ascend champions and sell them. So we are going to jump into Endless mode, go through both of these tickets separately so we can progress the account. I'm not going to pay too much attention to how far I get, because this isn't the difficulty level that I'm farming at. So ultimately, I just want to get to at least level 24. Once I'm there, I get all 3 of the treasure chests for that particular level, then move up a level, get to level 24. By getting to level 20, you unlock the next level. So as long as you get there, you can move forward. But I'd at least go to level 24 just to get that extra treasure chest. I think there's 3 summoning stones in there, so you might as well grab those while you're there. And if you are in a little bit of a hurry, you can actually, once you hit level 24, you can exit out of it and give up, and then it'll just take you right out. This endless cycle, I've noticed on my main account, is actually pretty easy because we're not accruing so many curses so fast. I think you only get a curse every 5 or 6 rooms, so you can actually avoid them pretty well. And because of that, I've made it well into the room 40, even room 50 as I was making my way up. And so I kind of expect that's probably going to be something similar to here. But I'm also getting less points and so forth. And in the interest of time, I probably will back out and move on to the next level, just so I can run both of these back to back. All right, so we used both those tickets. Let's grab these rewards that we got here. You can see they're stacking up because we did reset, so you get all these juicy rewards. Almost 1,000,000 gold, 500 rubies, endless tokens, a lot of scrolls, so we can probably get Drizzt up to level 140. So that'll be a big win there. So we get that on her, and then we're going to jump into adventure mode and see if we can press the account along. All right, so to progress the account, we're going to start in the Deadlands. We got Mire of Truth. We're still looking at Challenge 3. I think we tried this last time, just couldn't get it done. But this time, I do feel like we made some pretty big improvements to the account with 3 enlightenments and some level ups and some gear increases. So hopefully, I have not tried it since the last time we were on video, so hopefully we can get it done. All right, so we are into that 5th and final room. Our health is topped off. We're looking pretty good. I did stack up some abilities, so we should start right away on the right foot, getting some damage out there. So I think we're going to move through this level pretty easily based on the increases we made to the account. So that was actually really nice to see. I remember last time being a little disappointed that we didn't make it further, especially after 4 or 5 days without trying to make progress. So that is awesome. I think there were 2 other levels that were at level 110. There's the puppy. And with that progress there, we should be able to get those ones going as well. So we'll jump back in here into the Deadlands. Now we can sweep that Mire of Truth. But we're going to go to Scales of Sanctuary and see if we can beat Challenge 2 at that recommended 110 level. And I'll bring you back in at the end and see how we do. All right, once again, we're in that 5th and final room. We're going to go ahead and get it underway. We did stack up, I think, Tuskrog's ability here. So hopefully that gets us going right away in the right foot. Get some stuns out there and some damage. Somehow Palmera got hers out first, but I think it's going to be pretty good. Be surprised if we don't make it. We do have this guy back here with knock up ability and stun, so that's unfortunate, but we still have 4 guys. If we can get through the healer too, that's a big part of it. Oh, that looks like that's a little rough. We might try that again and see if we can do better. All right, so we moved Palmera and Tuskrog, switch their positions, and then also moved Drizzt to the middle. She does jump around, but sometimes from the middle she might have a better linear assault to work through that extra crit rate and damage. So we'll give this a shot. I'm pretty sure we should be able to get through this. So it's just a matter of finding the right combination of things and just hopefully maybe the right amount of RNG. Yeah, that's how that should have gone. So I think by moving Palmera over, she actually hit everybody with her AoE ability, and I think she got a few more crits than she did last time. So that was pretty unfortunate on the RNG on the previous one. But we're going to take this on, and then we'll jump into Challenge 3 and see how much further along that is. Usually it jumps up by about 5 levels. So I think as we made it through that one, I think we potentially could get through Challenge 3 here too. So it's up to 115. So yeah, we're going to give this a shot and see how this goes. All right, so we are into that 5th and final room. We have been taking a little more damage in this battle, so this might be a little closer call. I am going to hover over that pause button in case we need to reselect some formations or anything like that. But we actually started out with some good AoE abilities and ultimates, so I think we're going to be okay here. But that is super cool. That's a second Challenge 3 we were able to progress through. So we did Challenge 2 and 3 of this level. So that's 2 more Challenge 3s that we're going to be able to sweep every single day to get extra fragments and get extra rewards. So we're gonna step on to the next area and see if we can progress there as well. So the next one's Stone Table. I think we're actually on challenge 1, so we're gonna give that a shot and see if we can work through it. All right, so we are into the 5th and final room here on challenge 1. We seem to be sailing through pretty well, so we'll hopefully get through this as well. I'm gonna hover over that pause button just in case, but it looks like we just demolished them. There are these two guys here. You got the healer. So Grizel went down. We got the healer down, so I think it's just that last guy. So we should make it through here too. That guy, the little healer guy here, does a lot of work. Sometimes if you're not doing enough damage, he can just keep everybody alive long enough to get you done. But so we got through challenge 1. We're gonna try for challenge 2, and if we can get through that, maybe even challenge 3. Well, surprisingly, we actually died in the very first room. So that's kind of catching me off guard a little bit there. I don't think it was that much further. I think it was at 115 was recommended power. And I tried several, 115. I tried several different variations of formation, and I could not get through the first room. So that's pretty interesting. But we made it through all the other ones, so that was pretty cool. So what we're going to look into progressing all the way through the cathedral, and that should open up tier 6 gear if I'm able to go through all 3 of these levels. Alright, so we're on to the 10th and final room of that first level. We've been doing pretty well. Haven't really had a lot of issues. We did pick up Spiderweb, which is always one of my favorite. You get 5 seconds to the enemy basically not doing anything, which is kind of nice. We got some abilities stacked up, rested at the camp, and I think we're going to blaze right through this. So that makes me think on the next one we have a good chance of getting that one done as well. So we'll plug on into that one, and I'll bring you back at the end, or if we don't make it, I'll bring you back however far we get. All right, we are on to that 12th and final room. We did lose Grizel, but we got to revive her at the Tree of Life. So that's been pretty beneficial for us there, but I think we're doing okay. It was just kind of a weird room where she just kept getting in the way and getting extra damage. So I'm thinking we'll probably make it through here, because it has been fairly clean sailing. We did lose Darizda, but I think we got enough of them down that we're going to get some damage through here. Tuskarog with another AoE ability. So between all the rest of these guys are just ganging up on him, so I think we're going to be just fine. That guy's got fear on him. He's running around, so that's perfect. So we might actually, we're going to press on and try for that third challenge, or not challenge, but the third battle, and see if we can open up tier 6 gear today. That would be impressive. All right, so we're in the 15th and final room here. We have had a couple rooms that were pretty sketchy, but we are coming in topped off with health, and we are coming in with all of our abilities ready to go. So that's going to make this room a lot easier, hopefully. Back-to-back Tuskarog with the stuns, down to 3 enemies. I think we're going to make it. So that is a huge win for the day, to get to a point where we are unlocking tier 6 gear. So let's double check and make sure that actually took place. I think in this bag, in this chest, we'll end up getting the other bags we need in order to do. There you go. So here we are with the intelligence bag, the agility bag, and the strength chest. So that is awesome. So we'll go in there and start working towards getting some of our gear up to level tier 6. And again, the idea is going to be basically rolling through and getting everybody outfitted with tier 6 epic gear. And then once I have that all dialed in, slowly start getting those over to the legendary pieces and using those. Because when you fuse those, even with this with 6 stars upgrade, I'm going to get all of those fusion materials back out of it, or excuse me, the upgrade materials back out of it when I fuse it. And then I can put them right into the legendary piece that replaces it. So that's going to be a huge win. But I think that's probably about enough for today. I did want to thank you guys for the drawing and everything with Cyrus. Again, I would like to send out a congratulations to, I'm going to go with Avaris. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I know I did during the video and the giveaway. But congratulations, Avaris. I hope you're really enjoying your Cypress, or your Cyrus. And he's making some impacts on your account. The giveaway went super smooth, and I'm looking forward to potentially doing another one. So we did hit over 1,000 subscribers, so that is one of the criteria to monetize the channel. The next one that I need to do is hit 4,000 watch hours. So if you want to help out, feel free to watch some old videos and watch them clear through to the end. Every minute that you watch my video, it helps me accumulate those 4,000 watch hours. And then theoretically, I should be able to be monetized, and we'll see how much money I can actually make on the channel. It'd be pretty cool to be able to give away one of those founder or Gen 1 characters like once a month or something. But it'll really just depend on how it all comes out to play. But I do appreciate you guys spending the time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.